I'm Fred Schwartz. Welcome back to MHO Hotel Insight. Sitting here with panelists Mesh Vaidya on the MHO team, as well as a former AHOA Board of Director, and Matul Patel, co-owner of Ramayan Supply. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us.
Glad to be here.
So, Matul, let's pick up where we left off about supplies to the hotels, etc. You know, that 800-pound gorilla in the room is the distribution, supply chain distribution disruptions.
You know, this is a pretty, complex subject. I mean, because there's just 100 moving parts. It's not like one thing caused the prices to, jump up by 600%. There's been fractions of incremental cost increases through the entire chain. And, you have to look at it almost predating the pandemic, really. A lot of these steamships, there was a global initiative to reduce the carbon footprint, So a lot of these steamships have to actually retrofit clean coal technology. So the prices were bubbling up at that time, they just weren't being passed on to the consumer. And as COVID came along, well, it just blew the lid off, and all those pass-through costs, started coming out. That was part of it, but the biggest reason was, if you guys remember, there were these emergency medical authorizations being handed out. A lot of the factories overseas were actually diverting their core business to producing gloves, masks, and other medical equipment. So, right, China and India, they just don't produce for the US, they produce for the whole world. I mean, that's a lot. So imagine overnight stopping what you're producing and dedicating all those resources to producing medical equipment. And that initially started slowly the backlog, So as they were shipping it out, we were on shutdown. Well, about a year ago, we opened up, the West opened up, and it just opened up the floodgates. And so now you have inventory that's been produced sitting in these factories for over a year, and everyone's saying, hey, let's go, I need the product now. And as a result, that naturally started a bidding war, with a lot of these shipping lines. And, honestly, there is some price gouging going on, but a lot of these steamships said, well, now's our time to kind of make up for some of those sunken costs previously.
Well, that's great insight, because I didn't think from the carbon footprint right through that you took us through that whole all the issues. Let's turn to Amesh. Amesh, not only are you on the MHO team, but you're also a hotel owner, many hotels for many years. What's your take on the supply chain and also kind of the services that MHO provides to its owners?
Right now, it's very difficult for any hotel owner to stock regular needed items, whether it's breakfast items, whether it's towels, bed linens. But MHO has done a fantastic job of considering the owners as well as the guests. MHO does not have anything that is not important to the guests. So very simple standards, not fluff, not expenses. It's fair to both the owner as well as the guest. And MHO's done a fantastic job of, number one, following the fair franchise rules, and number two, taking care of the guests. The guests care for clean rooms, high-speed internet, and an honest price. And MHO that's their focus.
Good. So getting back to Matul, what can hotels do to cut costs during these trying times and stay supplied?
Yeah.
Because you can cut costs, but if you're not supplied, then you've got a guest problem.
Right. So just from our experience only, we've during the pandemic and post-pandemic, we're having customers that are reducing the grade of towels they might get. It's cheaper. It's going to help them keep the lights on. So customers are naturally starting to do that. We do have 3-4 different lines available, so they can make those type of decision. And then on the supply side, unfortunately, there's no good answer there. They're going to have to work with. I would suggest working with smaller vendors. A lot of time you have these large vendors out there, and they feel or they think that that's the only 4 or 5 vendors that are available to them. But being a smaller supplier, we've been able to fill in a lot of those cracks where we have bigger brands actually coming to us now and saying, look, I got to rent rooms out. Give me a spec that's close to that, and we'll have it. And we're working with our vendors as well to make sure that we're having some of those items that we normally don't carry.
We're seeing great benefits from dealing with the smaller suppliers. They're able to actually deliver products because it's in stock. But not only that, the bigger suppliers are having issues getting trucks to our locations, whereas these individuals are doing a much better job of getting our supplies to the hotels at the promised time.
Great. So, Mitchell, just real quickly, if someone wants to get in touch with your company, with Ramayan Supply, what do they do? How do they do that?
Yeah, anyone can do it the old-fashioned way. You can call 1-800-745-7940. I would say the easiest way in this day and age is just email orders@ramayansupply.com and just provide your name, your property's name, your location of your property, and it usually takes about 24 hours to set up a new account, and we'll get you going.
Well, thanks so much, Mitchell, for joining us on this episode of MHO Hotels Insight. And Amesh Vaidya, it's good seeing you again from the AHOA board and now with the MHO team.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much. We'll be right back with more of MHO Insight soon. Thank you.